Hello YouTube! For my first video I thought I'd show you how to disassemble and assemble a Browning BPS shotgun. Apparently a lot of people have some trouble with this and end up having to take it to a gunsmith, and there's not a lot of videos on how to do it, so thought I'd do one. I'm going to remove the barrel. I'm not going to zoom in on this because I should be able to do this. You just remove the end cap. Put it aside, put the handle down, the barrel just comes off, set it aside. First thing you want to notice is there's only 2 pins on the receiver. The big one right there holds the whole trigger guard in assembly, and that one right there. So this is the first one you want to take out, and you just pound it out like you would any other pin. So, just a pin. Usually keep a little container, throw it in. After you have the pin out, before you pull out the trigger assembly, you want to make sure the gun is cocked, that the firing pin is not released and it has tension on it, just by pumping it or whatever. And then as soon as you do that, you just lift up on the trigger guard and pull back towards the buttstock, and then that whole assembly just comes out right there. That's your trigger and all that fun jazz. Next, you want to take out the little, I don't know what the official term is, but they hold the buttons or hold the bullets in the magazine. But they're just 2 little long pieces. They kind of fall out usually pretty easy. You just play with them a little bit. Here's the right side. Try and keep track of which side has the little button on the end there. See a little raised piece? There's the other side. It doesn't have a button. Okay, next you want to slide the receiver all the way back, like so. And then, now after you've pushed the slide all the way back in the action, you just want to play with this bottom piece, moving it back and forth and whatnot until it pops out of there, like so. That's just I don't know if I call it the slide or if it's like the bottom piece of the bolt or whatever, but just set it aside, and then the bolt just comes right out. It just sits in there. So that's your bolt face and your ejector clip, all that fun stuff. Now, these tangs here, which eject, oh, also by the way, at this point you can just grab this slide and just pull it right off the end, and it comes out. So you've got the slide right off there, nothing holding it anymore. Now these tines here, which you eject the shells and put the new one up into the thing, that's held on, the only thing left held on by that second pin. That pin right there. So just gonna hit it out real quick. Now this one's a lot stiffer than the first one. Now inside there, so you have this tine that hinges. This pin goes through that hole right there. But in between is a roll pin. This little guy right here, he sits right in there for when you go to put that back together. So that's everything out of the receiver except for the safety. I never really bother with that. Never really seemed to matter, but I just had this all apart. We had shotgun hunt for deer last week, so got a little wet, so I was just taking it all apart, cleaning it. So we have the slide, the trigger assembly, which we're going to get to next. These little retainer clips. There's forks, I call them. The bolt, roll pin, and the other pin, and this bottom piece of the bolt. I don't really know what you call it. We're there, and the firing springs there. So next, you want to take out this pin right here. It's got like slots on it there. You'll see why when we put it all back together, but you want to push that pin out right there for now. So out comes the pin, your hammer, and both your firing pins. Now be careful because these are on, it's just a rod with a spring on it, so just make sure they stay together. Now we just have this little rocking thing here, and it's held in by that pin right there. I'll push it out. And there you go. You have it, and the pin that holds it in. This pin has 2 holes in it because that's what those firing pins sit in. So you're left with your empty trigger housing. So you can give that a real good clean and whatnot. Like I say, I just had this out for deer hunting, and it was raining one day, so I just wanted to make sure I got all the moisture out of everything and cleaned it up nice. So there you have it. That's your Browning BPS fully disassembled. All your trigger and your action, barrel and slide. So I'll probably make a part 2 on putting everything back together. Thanks a lot.